Hey Theater Inspires! Welcome to Make It Sparkle, a series to get ideas and inspiration for your theater and dance shows. This video is about dance and theater, and it features Tekurio. TJ has choreographed, staged, and directed many productions, including Something Rotten Jr., Disney's Descendants, Carnival of Animals, Sleeping Beauty, Seussical, and beyond. TJ also works as a producer, podcaster, and mentors children and adults in dance and ballet across South Florida. Hope you enjoy this and get some fresh ideas.
Yeah, TV and movie is different than live theater. I think that's something that we can never take for granted, because something that you like so much and you realize on film, it's captivating because it can keep the energy going. It can cut from one thing to another. You're in one scene at 1 second and immediately you're in a different group of people dancing together. And that was a big thing for me to have to transition a lot of the mindset, not necessarily of my own, because I wasn't hooked into the movies. I didn't know the movies and work backwards and go to the musical. I knew the musical and then familiarize myself with the movies. So I was different than the cast coming in. So I had to immediately shift the whole mindset of the performers, which were all kids under the age of 18 that understood the movie more. And I had to make them realize this is a live experience. So something like the finale of the show, it has tutorials, it has these things online that you can learn and watch. But I wanted to challenge these kids with something new. Like, how can I put my voice on something that's been out there a lot of times? So, and the thing that I could think of was completely just change it. You know, we can have this bridge scene with tons and tons of dancers, and we have with fireworks going on, but how can we reimagine that but still keep that energy going? And I think what I'm failing to mention was we didn't have a rehearsal altogether ever. For 10 full weeks we split up into groups because we were limited space in the COVID restrictions that our theater was going through. So we had 3 different groups. I split up. I created a map in my head how it was going to all play out. And really, in essence, nobody knew what it was going to be except me. Until we were right up until the very end, when we finally rehearsed together in a big enough space where we could fit. And everybody was like, wow, that's pretty genius that you did all this. But I really wanted to challenge them with new ideas, new movement, new ways of thinking about the show and this finale all together. So I created movement that was suited for them. It was impactful. It catered to the scene that needed to be. It wasn't going to be too much, and it was going to be something joyful and cheerful. So I think that's me when I'm deciding that what movement's going to go where. How is that the essence of that scene going to affect? How is the movement going to affect the essence of that scene? And I think for the finale, we really just wanted it to be a celebration of these friends, and this whole ensemble of 50 or so people on stage was really in it together. And I think it was a great display once we all finally got on stage and could get everybody together. Evie was a really fun one because she is she's the friend, one of the main friends. So it's Mal is the main character, the Maleficent's daughter, and Evie, they are best friends. And Mal is on the darker side, and her movement for me was, I wouldn't say it wasn't as important, but it didn't lead a lot of the scenes because she did a lot of things by herself, or she was the person that initiated a lot of the scene work. So I really had fun with Evie's character because it's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's a little bit, what's the right word for Evie's character? she's very strong, but she's very relatable as a person. And I loved that. And she, you know, she carried this bag and she got a lot of things in it, and she holds this mirror, and she's very smart, and she pretends to cheat just to fit in. And I thought that was so relatable to a lot of things that I did even growing up, and a lot of people could see themselves in her. So I had fun with her, and we put her in this really long wig. So it was fun to give her her little nuances as we went through. And I realized as we were going through each scene, I was always enhancing her movements more than anybody else's. So it was like a little hair flip, or it was like throwing her bag over the shoulder, or like stomping her feet to get everybody going together. So she wound up being this like almost like this ringleader for all of the scenes. Even though Mal might have been the leader of it, Evie was kind of the person that orchestrated everything to happen so seamlessly. So I found myself really picking through all of the scenes, being like, oh, and then whispering in her hair, being like, okay, right on that accent, you should throw this bag over your shoulder, and then like disappearing, and like a puff of smoke, and then all of a sudden she would do that, and I'd be like, okay, then you just walk that way just a little bit, and then do a little pivot, and then stop, and then I would watch the scene, and she'd walk, and she'd pivot, and she'd stop, and then there was sort of like a little laugh, or just some little nuances that kind of made her character stand out in that more relatable way.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you've directed or choreographed dance shows for the stage and have ideas or tips to help other creators make their shows a success, please be sure to include it in the comments below.